So today I want to talk about circles. They seem to be a problem, and so if you're watching this, I'm assuming it's because you had some difficulty with the circle part. And so I have shown what I would use for notes. I have drawn a circle, I've identified the diameter, and I've identified a radius. And so I just explained what the letter stood for here. D is for diameter, which is equivalent to 2 radiuses. So if you think about it going all the way through the center from edge to edge, there's a radius and there's a radius, and so 2 little radiuses would make up 1 diameter. If you mark the radiuses here, or whether you mark them separately, you know that this is the same distance from the center to the edge, whether it's over here or whether it's down here. So that would be why I have the diameter divided by 2 would tell me what the radius is. Circumference goes all the way around the outside, and so that is the same as perimeter in any other figure. We just call it the circumference for the circle. And so I have highlighted that in yellow here, as you can see. It goes all the way around the outside, and I highlighted the word circumference in yellow so that I could show you the 2 formulas that would work. You can either use the diameter times pi, and if I already know the diameter, that's the easiest. But I also know that the diameter is the same as 2 radiuses, so I can use 2 radiuses times pi to get the same thing. On area, we need to know the radius, and so I have colored that in pink, and so you can see that I have shaded in the inside. That's the whole total area. No matter what shape you're using, that's how we figure the area. So the formula for that is pi times the radius squared. Now we use quite a few different things for pi, so if you want to remember that pi in a number form is usually used as 3.14 or as a fraction as 22/7. Either one of those would be acceptable, and you just have to pay attention to what the instructions say. So this is my example of how we have the information that we would need. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work a row of information with you. And so we're going to practice those right here. And so what I have done is I've kind of given you a variety of things, and we're just going to fill in the answers accordingly. So if the radius is 2, that means this piece is 2. Then I know this is 2 and 2. And I ought to be able to come down here and tell you that the answer is 4. Likewise, here, if I tell you that the diameter all the way across is 40, then I ought to be able to cut that in half and know that this is 20 and this is 20. And so I can fill in my parts accordingly. And so once I know the pattern, it goes really simple. And then again, if I don't remember, I'm using these formulas right here. The circumference is the diameter times pi, and the area is pi r squared. Now, sometimes they leave those as pi, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. The diameter times pi would be 4d. D would be the pi, and so we would put 4 pi right there. And then the area would be the same, in fact, because this one's a special one, because 2 to the second power is also 4 pi. And then you have an option, depending on whether they have asked you in the instructions to leave it in pi, or whether they've already told you to go ahead and work it out to something very simple or similar. So I would use my calculator, and I would type in 3.14 times 4, and I would end up with 1256. And people get confused on this one, and that's one of the reasons we use this one as our example, because clearly they look the same, and the only thing that's different in them are the labels. So this one is inches, and this one would be inches squared. Remember, the area is always to the second power. Okay, so let's try one more. So if I have the circumference, remember it's the diameter times pi, so it's 40 pi, and this one would be 20 squared pi. And so I could be done, or I could go ahead and simplify them out. If I need to go ahead and simplify them out, this would be 40 times 3.14, which would be roughly 125.6. And again, that is inches. And then this would be 20 squared, which we know is 400, and we would take that times 3.14. And so all that's happened is my decimal has moved over, so it is now inches to the second power. And then we're going to pause the movie for just a moment, and you're going to try this last one just so that you kind of have an idea. So did you get it correct? We have 30 pi, or the diameter times pi gives me 94.2 inches. And then radius would be 15 squared times pi, which would be 706.5 inches to the second power. So again, please remember your formulas. These are ones that as 8th graders you are expected to already know, and they are things that we use fairly regularly in our everyday life as a grown-up, is knowing what the radius and the diameter of a shape is. So good luck.